Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Media Mania podcast. Welcome back to the show. Tonight, we're not just talking wrestling, we're stepping into the ring with pure power. My guest, Force on the Independent, a man who brings size, intensity, and straight up violence every time he steps between those ropes. Joining me live tonight, none other than SilverBack Big Joe Helms.
Mr. Hey, Helms, how's it going?
Everything's good, man. How are you?
Oh, excellent, man. I just came off a 2-day run in Illinois. Wrestled in Belleville, Illinois Saturday night, and did 4 TV episodes for SICW All-Star Wrestling on Sunday. So, and I didn't get home till probably about 8:30 that night. I didn't watch no Super Bowl or nothing like that. So just a little tired, you know, a lot of wrestling.
Yeah, wear and tear, man. Life on the road.
Yeah. That's why I always tell everybody, I asked for it.
Yeah, you know you were signing up for.
Yeah.
So I guess my first question to you would be, how did the SilverBack Big Joe Helms come to be? Like, how did you come up with that gimmick character?
Okay, so I played 15 years arena football before I got into pro wrestling. And I started off with the Wolfpack in Springfield, and I went through a few teams, won about 5 championships, and then my final team that I won 2 rings with, they were the Queen City Insane Asylum, and our mascot was a silverback gorilla.
Okay.
And the logo that I have that I use on my trunks is the logo that we had for that team. And I asked them, hey, do you guys mind if I use that? And they were like, absolutely, go ahead, you know. So I mean, that part is the silver. Plus I look like a big white gorilla when I'm in the ring, you know, running over people. I really do. And it's kind of funny. But you know, I tied everything in to something in my life. They always say that the best characters are your personality dialed to a 10 or higher. And lucky me, I have 2, and they are both actually something from my life. And so I do them very well. And I actually wrestle 2 different styles, from the silverback to the hired gun. And so, you know, just one of those things where I just kept putting things together because I coached Raiders youth football, my son, and a bunch of kids here in Springfield area for about 6 years. And I would dress like a Raiders mascot. I'd paint my face up. I'd put big spikes on my shoulder pads. They'd call me Raider Joe. I'd go out there with a big Raiders flag, and I'd coach them and, you know, get them all riled up. And we won like 5-6 championships, you know, and they even played down at Dallas Cowboys Stadium. So when I got into the pro wrestling, they were trying to figure out, well, what do you want to do for gimmick? And I was hesitant in showing him that. And when I did, they were like, oh, you need to do something like that. And I was like, man, I feel like it's a little close to like Road Warrior-ish, and I don't want to take anything from those guys. And so my trainer, Terry Zeller, he was like, dude, that's what you're supposed to do, is you're supposed to take things and make it your own. Take pieces from different characters and roll them into one and make something different. And so I went with it, and I went back to the drawing board a couple of times until I got the silverback, the silverback, not the retro respect Road Warrior gear looking one that I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And so it was just like trial and error until I got the finished product, man. And it was what was in my head, what I wanted, and then and I just made it come to life. So
Yeah, I will say the clips I've gotten to see, like the stuff I got when I was looking into some of your matches, like I don't see a lot of big dudes in wrestling that can do some of the like cartwheels, some of the stuff I've seen you do. Like there's been very few in between that have been able to have that big man status and also just move around like a race car.
yeah, I can get around that ring, man. Especially for, I'm getting older. So I'm still able to do these things. And everybody's like, how's your body holding up? And I'm like, great. Like, how's your knees feeling? I'm like, better than they did when I was playing football. Like it's great. My body finally calloused over a couple of years ago. And like I said, I hadn't had a match since January 10th. And I went up and did Belleville. I did a tag match Saturday night and did 4 wrestling episodes on Sunday. And I was telling the girlfriend, I was like, you know what? I said, I had that one match like over a month ago. I figured I would be just sore as could be, but I feel great. But I started putting in 2-a-days in the gym there for the last couple of weeks because I was making a return to SICW for the first time in like a year. And the fans have been wanting this for a while. So I wanted to come back in as best shape as I could for them. And so I started doing 2-a-days and it paid off.
You're in damn good shape. You're just like all hoped up and all.
Yeah. And I haven't worked out since last week because I've been so busy this week. Once I got back, I got a few grandkids living with me and everything, so and then Tanya, she comes home, she works out of state, so she's home this week for our anniversary and Valentine's Day, and my birthday's coming up. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and we're trying to get things lined out so we can go do our thing, and it just this week working out has not been in the book.
I get that. Trust me, I get that 100%. So I'm pretty sure you've gotten this comment. I don't know if you have or not. I'm just taking a guess here that I don't know if has anyone called it like you're just another big man in the business and you just try to prove them wrong from being just another big man.
I've never heard that, but my whole point was in training and everything like that I didn't want to be labeled just another big man. And so I refuse to be that big man. I go in that ring as if I feel like I'm one of the smaller guys. That's why I move like I do.
Yeah.
And I would always be told, well, it's not correct because you're so big for you to be doing that flying around stuff. And I'm like, why not? If I can do it, why not? I mean, there's one match, I don't know if you've seen it, where I did a tope. I dove out the ring on a big boy. I'll do any of that stuff. I don't care. I'll jump off the top rope, flying shoulder block. I mean, once I broke that, from being afraid to do that, it's over now. You just unlocked a whole nother level of me.
Yeah, when I was looking at your videos and you doing some of the stuff you do, it just reminded me just straight away of another big man that was just about the same as you. And me and you have talked about this off screen, that you kind of took that from him and inspired it into what you do, and that was Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah, man, that guy was something else. And I don't think he got enough credit for the stuff that he did. He was a good guy doing all I mean, if you go back and watch him versus Vader, those two big guys going at it, man, that is a work of art. Those two going at it.
To me, he will always be tough as nails because I don't know if just with the tattoo he had on his head alone, I couldn't you put a needle in my head, you be out of your rabbit ass mind.
I've had a bunch of people tell me, like, when I first started, that I reminded them of Bam Bam Bigelow in the face a little bit. But at the time, I was about 315, 320, and I'd just come out of arena football. So I was benching 435. I was super jacked. Right now, I'm about 285, 290-ish, somewhere in there. So I'd cut some weight to try to look more the part, and to be more fluent, because I was so boxy in the beginning. I couldn't do a lot of stuff because I was so, muscle bound and tight and everything else. And everybody's like, you got to loosen up. I'm like, well, I'm going to have to lose some weight then. So
I've got a question for you. It's kind of I didn't come up with the question. And a lot of the questions I had for you, I've had them ready, but this one, I was just going back and looking at some of the cards you've been on, and I recognize some of the people you've been on cards with just because I see them here. It shows here in Tennessee, like Lucky
Mhm.
P. Larson, Danny
Yeah.
Dollar, and I'm like,
Hmm.
I didn't know they got up there. I didn't know they got to those kind of like Illinois and all. I thought they were just like they stayed down this way.
No, man, it's independent wrestling. It's all over the place. I traveled all over last year. Like the beginning of the year started off really slow because I had some personal
Mhm.
issues. Then it started heating up. Once I brought out the black and red gear, the retro respect gear that I'm doing with
Yep.
the Road Warrior Legion of Doom retrospect, it started taking off like a fire. And so I went to Vegas and I wrestled at On the Fly for Cauliflower Alley Club,
Mhm.
and I ended up wrestling Crush's son. And gosh, what is his name? Royce. Royce Adams is Crush's son. And I ended up wrestling him in a tag match. Now, mind you, I hate wrestling tag matches. I just never liked them. Like I like tag teams. I'm
Mhm.
to me, in my mind, I'm not great at tag matches.
Yeah.
But I get put in them all the time, and everybody's like, "You do really good in them." And in my mind, I'm horrible because I just kind of follow the flow
Yeah.
and do what I'm taught, and it works out. And everybody in the back's like, "You really hate tag matches, but you look really good." I'm like, "Bro, I hate them with a passion." I said, "I honestly don't understand. I don't know why. I don't understand the psychology in it because it's a lot deeper psychology than a singles match."
Yeah.
And but I just kind of go with the flow and listen and listen to people talk and all that stuff, and I just go with whatever, and it works out. So, but yeah, but I was trained by Terry Zeller. He was a WWF talent enhancement from 91 to 93. He was the
Okay.
last person to be body bagged by the Undertaker. There's videos of him on YouTube, him, Bruce Beefcake, Akeem, and some of Bam Bam Bigelow somewhere. Um, but he trained me to be a singles monster, not tagged, you know. So him and Jason Jones from Mid States Wrestling, you know, they've been polishing me up and working with me over the last few years to get me right.
Yeah. I've gotten to see some of your social media, and you've gotten to meet so many guys that you've gotten to meet like Kevin Nash, and you've gotten
Dude,
to meet
I
the Barber Beefcake, CM Punk.
yeah. I haven't even posted everybody that I've gotten to be around. Super crazy. You know, Midian showed up to one of my shows in Florida. Like I said, I wrestled in Vegas, and then like a week or so later, I was in Tampa wrestling for Tampa Bay Pro as the Silverback,
Yeah.
and then the next night wrestling for VPW, which is Gary Wolf, Pitbull number one.
Yeah.
His promotion down there the very next night is the Hired Gun. So like I'm like all over the place, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, that's not
So,
even the tip of the iceberg because I wrestled for the NWA Television Championship down there against Brian Idol.
oh wow, that's amazing.
Talk about a
I've
feather
got
in
to
your
see,
cap.
yeah, the current champion, a current NWA champion. That's something. That's a feather in your cap.
Yeah, nobody around this area is doing it.
So, are there any plans for the Silverback to like travel to like Tennessee or any southern states to work?
I've been in Tennessee a few times. I'm actually the AHCW heavyweight champion, American Hostile Championship Wrestling. I am their heavyweight champion right now. And we're like right teetering right on the edge of Tennessee and Missouri line.
Okay.
I've actually wrestled in Dyersburg with Greg Anthony. Um,
Golden Boy. Yeah, I know the Golden
yeah,
Boy.
yeah, there's been I wrestled him for the AIWF Heavyweight Championship too. That was pretty fun. That was a great night, and that was one of the very few times that I wrestled as a heel as the Silverback.
Yeah.
I'm a face everywhere with that. Everybody, I am over. I look like like I could be just a bad guy, which if I
Yeah.
was, I would be. But everybody loves it because, like I always say, it jogs the memory of the older crowd and it
Mhm.
captivates the children. So I got them all locked in.
Mhm.
So
So, are there any like when I was asked about Tennessee? Because I used to live in West Tennessee, so when you
Mhm.
said Greg Anthony, I was like, Golden Boy. Okay, I've gotten to see him quite a few times growing up in West Tennessee wrestling. I'm talking
Great
like more
guy.
like middle Tennessee, like Nashville or like uh, Clarksville, Chattanooga, Knoxville.
I'd love to get out that way. I tried to put my feelers out there for what's that one that Jerry Lawler's on a lot? Oh gosh, Memphis All
Memphis
Star
Baptist,
Wrestling or something like Memphis.
Memphis,
And I
Memphis.
emailed them, and they acted like they gave no crap about who I was.
Yeah,
I tried to get on their show and they wouldn't email me back. And I'm like looking at the people that they have on their show, and I'm like, really? You put that on there, but you're not calling me back? Like, really? So
yeah.
I give up. So if they want me, they know how to get a hold of me. It's that
Okay,
simple. I'm not gonna pander and bow down to people, and beg to be on their show. That's just not who I am.
okay. So my next question: what is the most exhausting weekend you've ever had on the road? Like going from like show to show. What's been your most exhausting weekend?
Mm. I would have to say doing a 3-day run for SICW up in Illinois, because I did a 3-day run. I went from, I think it was way down in Arkansas on a Friday. No, I take that back. It was Oklahoma. Brandon Groom's company in Oklahoma. We went from Oklahoma on a Friday
Mm-hmm.
to SICW Belleville, Illinois on a Saturday, and then the
Okay.
TV on Sunday in East Carondelet. That stretch was tiring. That 3-day run was rough.
So I'm
Um,
sure you had. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was
oh, you're
just gonna
good.
ask.
You're good. Like, I mean, other than going to the CAC Cauliflower Alley Club last year, because I had to fly in for the show on Sunday, because they do it on a Sunday night for the
Yeah.
on the fly,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had to fly in. Then I think I flew in on Saturday. Sunday was the show. I helped put the ring and set it up. Then get in there and nerve-wrackingly be around all these legends, because nobody nobody talks to each other, because you got heels on one side of the stage, faces on the other, and they call
Yeah.
it's on the fly. It's 100% on the fly. Nobody
Yeah.
talks. Nobody knows who's going to wrestle each other. The legends gets up and goes, "Oh, I want to see that big guy versus that big guy." Then they get up, introduce themselves, get in the ring. Still don't know. Ref walks over and either says, "You're going over," he's going over. Now our brains are going, "Oh crap, I've got to put this guy over the best way I can and make it all look good," vice versa, and ring the bell, let's go, and try to make magic, just like the old school. And then after that, it was another 3 days of the Cauliflower Alley event. So I was in Vegas for like 5 days, and I was ready to go home after the third day. I was like, I can't do no more. I'm so tired, because you walk out of the plaza, and it's a party the whole time outside,
Yeah.
because you're on Fremont Street. It's music, boom, boom, boom. Even when you get in your hotel room, and if you're on the back side, that's all you hear, boom, boom, boom. And it's like, my God. And I'm
That
not a partying type. So I'm
the
like, I'm
story.
spent already after 3 days.
Mm-hmm. Just that story of like I've never heard a story like that where you like he was on one side faces. I've never heard a story like that, and like in
Yeah,
the 1 year I've been doing this podcast, I've never heard that kind of. I've never heard a story from anyone like that.
dude, we're all sitting on a stage
Yeah.
and like being presented to these guys. And I'm sitting here looking like I only wanted everybody that looked like a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
But the build, the look, the tan, like the airplane look, 100%.
Yeah.
And me being as nervous as I was kind of like trying to hide. And then lo and behold, I got picked, and I had remember what I told you about tag teams, the
Mm-hmm.
only tag team match in the whole thing. I had to be in it.
You
And I ended up,
was probably like, damn it.
and I killed it. And I killed it. I don't know how I did it, but I killed it. And I had a line of guys lined up, promoters, to talk to me, and I had to do a quick podcast about the match, and then give them my information. And I was the only person to give what's the old trainer for WWE?
Which one? There's a couple.
Brother Love's brother. Dadgummit.
Oh, oh yeah, Tom
Yeah.
Pritchard.
Yeah, Tom. I was the only person to give Tom Pritchard an 8x10 with all my information on it, and he put me over in a seminar saying I had one guy out of all of those guys do the old school way and bring me an 8x10 with all his information. And he was proud of that, but never heard anything from that either. But I destroyed Royce Adams in front of everybody in there, and I still put their team over. So it was enough for me to land Tampa, land some promotions in Tampa and Georgia. And, I was trying to get more out in Tennessee. So
I'm glad you brought up the whole 8x10 story, because this reminds me of a funny story. You probably know him, James Storm. You know James, the Cowboy.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. I was at a show he was at. I bought one of his 8x10 pictures, and lo and behold, I get it. I turn it around after I buy it from him, and it has all of his prices on the back of it. It's like his display one. It's just the one he used for display.
And he probably had no idea.
No, he just hands it on, and I've been waiting to see him at another show that I can take it with me and show it to him. It's like, hey, this is the one you handed me. Just tell him the story about it.
I mean, I've done that, but not handed it out though.
Yeah, he handed it to me like he had so many people in his line.
Yeah, he was busy. I'm lucky. I got Tanya with me, and she runs my table while I'm off shaking babies and kissing hands.
I think it's shaking hands and kissing the babies.
Oh yeah, that's the heal me. Never mind. That was the heal me coming out.
I thought it was something else. I was about to say, I think I know you got that from. You got that from Dukes of Hazzard.
I don't know. I don't remember. I am a Dukes of Hazzard fan, so that could be possible.
So who is one opponent that you love working? It doesn't matter which promotion you've been at, but one person that you just could run it back with over and over again and never get tired of working them.
Lord Ato is his name. He actually lives about 30 miles from me. We have beat the living crap out of each other all over the Midwest. And I even brokered, this is a cool story. I brokered a show in Tampa last year to pay. My pay was going to pay for him to come down with me because I wanted him to get seen too. And so all in all, he's really my best friend. And so he come down with me. And the guy that I was supposed to wrestle, we were in the trailer looking at, what was getting ready to happen. They had their meeting. And my guy that I was supposed to wrestle is wrestling somebody else. And I'm sitting here going, what the heck's going on? And I'm getting mad. I'm getting just ticked off because my buddy Emil flew us in on his dime to get us this opportunity on this show. And what happened was the promoter didn't tell the booker what was going on, and the booker went ahead and made the matches, so I had no match.
Yeah.
Thank God Ato came with me, and I made that happen. So Ato went to him because I was so mad I about threw my water bottle through the fence. And Ato went to him and said, hey, what's going on? And the guy looked at him. He's like, man, I didn't get told anything. He's like, can you guys put a match on? And I looked at Ato and I looked at him and said, yeah. And it's probably going to be the best match you're going to have. And so we went to the back, and worked our things out. And we came out there and we ended up being the dark match of the whole show, where there were some guys from TNA and NWA working each other on the show. Super Crazy was there. And lo and behold, I'm sitting there drinking a Monster Energy drink, and this towering figure's behind me, and he comes over and says, hey, whose monster is this? And bangs his on top of mine. I turn around and look, and I was like, oh, it's mine. I didn't even think about it. And Emil says, that's Midian standing right behind you, don't you? And I looked at him and I said, what? He goes, that's Midian standing right behind you. And I turned around and I looked and I was like, oh man, hey, because I realized that he had become a famous chef, a sushi chef. Yeah. And I almost didn't recognize him because he shaved his head. And we ended up talking like two buddies that hadn't seen each other in 20 years. We hit it off so good. He ended up critiquing our match, and our match ended up being match of the night, and it was a dark match that wasn't even supposed to happen. And this is over Super Crazy and all these other guys that were supposed to have been great coming in. And all we did was just old school Midwest wrestling. None of this high spot after high spot, flip around crap. We told a story, and the crowd ate it up. And I was the hired gun when we done it. So, and yes, I did the cartwheel, the whole 9 yards, and the people just lost their mind. They couldn't believe it. Fidel, Fidel and Sarah was there, and he come up to me. He goes, "That was a great match." And he's old school as all get out, the Puerto Rican assassin. And he was like, "That was a great match," and that made me feel like $1 million. And even Midian couldn't believe I had only been in it almost 4 years at the time. He was like, "Get out of here. You're kidding me, right?" And he's like, "Do you have any contacts with WWE or anything like that?" I was like, "Nah, dude, I ain't got nothing." Like I've tried to message him for extra work. They won't bring me in for extra work because I'm bigger than half their guys.
Yeah.
And so they want these little tiny guys that they can throw around out here, that Seth Rollins and these little guys can throw around out here. I'm 6'1", 290. I'm not a small guy, so
it was weird,
and it's just like, okay, yeah, like I'm going to be security. Like you're going to push me around in security, so I don't know. I mean, I figured I'll get an opportunity at some point. I got to wrestle Eric Rowan in Oklahoma. That was cool.
Big Red.
Yeah. Nice guy.
He is one of the nicest. I've gotten to meet him one time. He was just awesome to meet. Like
He's such a big dude. Oh my God, is he a huge guy?
I was like, do I want to? I was hesitant to walk up to him. Like, he's a big dude. He's probably gonna tell me to go fuck myself or something. Go away.
No. That was the same night I almost had to beat up Scotty Too Hottie too. That's a story.
Oh no, not Scotty. Oh, not Scotty Too Hottie.
Oh yeah, he about got it. Like he had me pissed, super pissed.
Super pissed. Oh no, don't tell Super Crazy. Don't tell him.
He had me really mad. He was disrespectful to me, and he about got it.
Oh man. Damn. So you've brought it up a couple times already. The hired gun. Like, how did like? I'm honestly surprised. Like we talked about this off camera. I'm honestly surprised Big Vito has not reached out to you with you doing a hired gun to bring.
I've got a couple of friends that had talked to Vito, and I 100% would love to go up there and be like his henchman or something like that. It just hasn't happened. I mean, he's friends with me on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I know he's up there at JCW, and I think that it would be like perfect match, because when I do the gimmick, when I was in Florida, they absolutely loved it. And I had people coming to me asking me if I was really Italian, and I'm like, no, I'm German, dude. I'm like German Irish or something like that. I was like, I'm the furthest from it, but if you go back and check out, because I did a lot of studying to really do the gimmick in for them. And I put that I'm from what is it, Federal Hill, Rhode Island, where the real stuff actually happened. And it was the Irish, mafia, and it was the Italian mafia. They hated each other. There was a line right down the middle.
Yeah.
And if they saw you on one side, they'd beat the life out of you and drag you back over to the other side and expect you not to come back over, and vice versa. There was no policing. They policed Rhode Island. If there was a problem, they would go to Ray Patriarca, and that was the guy, that was the man that ran stuff. And that's who I kind of based my character off of. Uncle Ray used to always tell me, growing up, you needed to be a made man or you was nobody, just kind of that kind of stuff when I would cut promos. And I wouldn't say his name, but Uncle Ray. But if anybody wanted to do the research, they'd be like, "Oh, this guy knows what he's talking about," you know. So, but how
if
I
I
came up,
may, like, sorry, go ahead.
how I came up with that gimmick is another thing from my life.
Yeah.
100% me. Both characters are 100% me.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say was we were talking about Big Vito for a second. I know, I don't know if you watched NXT or I don't know if you've watched any of NXT the last while, but like when Tony D'Angelo from NXT, he was doing the whole the Italian family thing, and he had like they had these scenes where he had like henchmen beside him and all that. I'm like, I was looking at the hired gun, like pictures of you as a hired gun. I'm like, he could have done that too. He could have been a goon for Tony D'Angelo on NXT as an extra.
I was Tony DeVito's tag partner down in Deltona from ECW.
Really?
Tony DeVito, that was my tag partner. Yep.
Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
full-blooded Italians.
Yeah. So if I have a small connection with them, just come on, guys, pull the trigger. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to go work for JCW, but I feel like I know that the hired gun would be great for Vito, but I know the Silverback gimmick would be over like crazy with all those guys. It's just hard to decide to go with which one. You know, the girlfriend doesn't like me being a heel, but the first time she saw the hired gun, oh, she was all over it, like white on rice. She was like, "That is just the most sexiest bad guy type gimmick I've ever seen." And I'm like, it just works. It works because I don't talk. I just look at people, and I talk with what I do.
Yeah, you hurt people.
Yeah, I pick them apart methodically. I don't wrestle like the Silverback. I wrestle like a bouncer or a guy that wants to pick someone apart who's being paid, and I genuinely look like I'm enjoying punishing these people. So that's what makes it. That's what sells it. Everybody's got a price to pay, and the higher gun's going to come collect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody's got a price. So, who is someone on the indie scene that hasn't faced the Silverback or the hired gun yet, but needs to?
Oh, there's a lot of them. I've been really wanting to face Cruel.
If I may, I have to give my opinion here. If I had to see you face anyone right now in the indie scene, it's another big guy, and you'll know him right when I say his name. Big Trouble Ben Bishop.
Ben Bishop. Is that's that one dude that won that title here not too long ago, and he moved on to TNA, didn't he?
No, he's not signed to any major promotion. But he's big old tall, like I think he's like 6'7" or 6'8".
Yeah. Well, I wrestled NWA's Talos.
He's about a cat.
Talos is 7 foot, and I worked him in a battle royal. And then I wrestled 6'8" Mike Maverick and destroyed him. So, I mean, I'm a ball of muscle in there, dude. Like I keep coming at you. You can put me down, but I'm going to keep coming back. It's just one of those things. You're going to have to really hurt me to put me down. I'm like a horror movie, man. If you don't double tap, I'm coming back. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, double tap. Oh man, that's a crazy comparison. Comparing yourself to a horror movie, that's crazy work. So,
I mean, it's one of those situations where
stories. I've had
What is it? Go ahead. No, you're good.
I was gonna say I've had a couple guests on my show, and they've all had a story or two, like a horror story about being on the indie scene because they've had like I'm sure you probably have deal.
I had a situation happen with me, Flash Flanagan. It was the first time that I'd ever wrestled him up at SICW, and he wasn't quite all there at the time. Like, I don't know what he was on or if he was intoxicated. I don't know, but I was scared because I had no idea what was going on. Bless his heart. I know he had some things happening at the time and lost a pet and some things, and he was going through some stuff. But I was scared because that was like my first time up there, and they put me in the ring with him, my first match, and I'm like, cool, I'm going to wrestle an old WWE guy, that's well known. But then I look over and this guy's like half asleep, and I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do. And I'm like looking at my buddy Steven, and I'm going, what am I supposed to do? And I'm just like, well, I guess I'm going to go out there and hope for the best, and it worked out. It worked itself out. But I mean, that was probably one of the only times I was really, really uneasy going in.
Yeah. Okay. So, what is something that wrestling has gave you that nothing else in life could? Like, has wrestling gave you like more than what you expected out of it?
Oh, 100%. I get asked all the time, what did you like better, arena football or pro wrestling? Which I played pro in both. And I say, when I say this, and I mean it, there is no greater sport than pro wrestling. I didn't realize how, what do you call it? Like crowd shy that I was till the first time I ever came out in front of a crowd. Like I had stage fright like a mofo. It took me probably about 100 matches to get real comfortable and then be able to work the crowd while I'm in a tag match or whatever, and look at the crowd and pander to them and things like that. Really get my, the showmanship going. Because my thing is if I pull the crowd into my match, I can't do any wrong, So if I include the crowd, then the rest is golden. And that's been the formula, kind of like what Hogan did. It's the showmanship. You don't have to be the greatest wrestler in the world, but if you bring that crowd into the roller coaster ride, can't do no wrong, man. It's like Hogan used to always say, inside this square, you can't do anything to me. I'm invincible. And he pretty much was.
Yeah. And Hope, I try not to say this on the podcast. I try not to, but I separate, because I'm sure you've seen it, and anyone that hasn't lived on the rock, I try to separate Terry from Hulk Hogan. I try to separate the two, because without Hulk Hogan, you wouldn't have what pro wrestling is today.
You wouldn't. But at the same time, people need to realize that we're all human. Just because we're on TV doesn't mean we're not human. We all have decisions. We make decisions. We all make mistakes in life. Give the guy a break. Look at all the generations that he lived through. He was who he was. Was he the perfect person? No. Who is?
Nobody.
Who's said bad stuff out there? Everybody. I mean, I grew up around a family that was kind of racist, and I tried to shy away from all of that as much as possible. But I don't see Hogan as being a racist. I don't see him being a racist. I see him do a lot of stuff for different people of color through the years. I was a huge Hogan fan. I did a show in Oklahoma last year, and it was right after his passing, and I took it pretty hard. Like for about a week, I took it pretty hard, because it was like part of my life gone. And he's the reason that I even wanted to be a wrestler, and I was at a show, and the way people were talking and trying to not say anything, I was like, I'm going to end up busting somebody's jaw in here if they take it further than respect level. And it got close, and I was like, I'm going to snatch somebody up, so I won't name that show, but that's just the professional that I am. But, everybody deserves their respect, and I don't think the way people talk trash on him still to this day is right, because you can't tell me those same people that are saying, oh, he was racist, he is this, I'll guarantee you said something in your life too that was derogative to somebody or something else. You just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, because I was lucky enough to see the last couple of matches of his career. I was lucky enough to see him, like him versus The Rock. I was lucky to
Uh,
see it.
that was amazing.
It was
The way
the
that
passing of the
the way
torch.
that well, the craziness was he come in as the heel, but
Mm-hmm.
The Rock turned into the heel because the crowd turned everybody. That's what I'm saying. You have to listen to the crowd. The crowd will let you know what they want you to do. This is what I was told by my trainer. He said, always listen to the
Yeah,
crowd. They'll let you know what they want.
yeah.
They're the ones that pays your
So,
bills.
oh yeah, definitely. Like, they pay, like they pay to see you and everything. Like they want to see what they want to see.
Yeah.
So, what is, in your opinion, the biggest sacrifice you've made chasing this dream as a pro wrestler?
Hmm. Family time. Really. I missed a lot of birthdays of my grandkids growing up. I got like 11. So I missed a few. This year I've actually got to make quite a few because just how the cards have fell and the wrestling's, like snowed out and things like that. I've been lucky, but I mean family things, but they all understand that it's the dream and they think it's cool as crap, that their papa gets to go wrestle people and they get to go watch and
Yeah,
me still being an athlete, they're just now learning basketball and playing basketball, my boys. And
yeah.
I'm out there dribbling between my legs and doing all this stuff, and they're stopping and looking at me and going, "Papa, how are you doing that? You're a grandpa. You're old. You shouldn't be able to do that." I said, "I'm an athlete." I said, "I'm old. I'm not obsolete."
I'm gonna be honest. You don't, like, you saying you're a grandpa. You don't look it. You don't look a day over 40.
Yeah, I'm 40. I'll be 48 next week.
No, there's no way. No, no. I
100%.
call bull. I call
48,
bull.
baby. February
I call
17th, 1978.
I call bullshit on that 48. I call
Yes,
bullshit.
sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
you look, for 48. You look amazing. You look
It,
amazing for 48.
thank you. It's a process. Don't make me blush. No, I'm messing with you.
If I look that
Um,
good at 48, I'll be amazed if I look that good at fucking 48.
hey, just
Uh,
I don't drink alcohol, and if I do, it's very rare. And I don't do drugs, man. I live in the gym. Like the last few weeks, I was in there 2 a days trying to make myself ready for this next show. A lot of skincare, tanning and beard dye. If I didn't dye my beard, it'd be white as a sheet. A lot of people don't know that, dude. I just try to take care of myself and maintain.
yeah, I totally get that. Like that's what you have to do when you're a wrestler or any
Yeah,
kind of
you got
athlete,
to
really.
put a show on. Well, I mean, it's no different than like Hollywood, dude. I mean, we're basically we're actors slash glorified stuntmen.
Yeah. So I've seen you post it on social media. I've seen some people in your comments talk about it, and I would feel remiss if I didn't at least bring it up and let you tell your story on it. We were talking about a little bit earlier in the episode, the shoulder pad, like the spiked shoulder pads and the Road Warrior gimmick, and I've like the whole
Mhm.
Road Warrior thing, and then like some of the other stuff you wear is like tributes to, like Vader, Bam Bam, and I've seen you have to defend yourself doing it. Like, when was the first time someone tried to call you out on
Oh, it was a couple years ago. It was just a post where someone was like, "Oh, quit robbing from the Road Warriors and blah 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 blah." And I'm just like, "Look, the name of the game is to take and make. 100%. Yeah, that stuff is gear that's designed exactly to a T as what they had. The red and black. But where it said
Yeah,
Legion of Doom, I put Silverback. I put the gorilla on one side and the symbol on the other.
yeah,
The boots are flames like Bam Bam Bigelow. They're not the same type of boots that they had. And the shoulder pads, the spikes aren't as big.
no,
And then I've got that mask. That's the Silverback style mask. That mask was the original mask for the
yeah,
silver. And I just painted it red and had another one custom made for the silver. So I've got two.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I may break out a
Okay.
third with that's murdered out all black with maybe silver spikes. I'm always going to keep changing and evolving. And I'm like, one show I went back to the silver, and everybody's like, "That shit looks great," and I was like, "Yeah, but I used it for like 3 years, and I felt like it got dull, so I had to reinvent." And I didn't
Yeah.
at first. I tried to push away from the Road Warrior stuff. And
Mhm.
but the other one, I look more apocalyptic. I don't look like a road warrior. I don't look like Vader. But if you in the
Yeah.
silver one, if you put us all three together, it just looks like they all had a baby, and that was me. You know. So
Yeah.
this last year, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to embrace it and give the fans what they're thinking. And when I did it, it was a blow up. Everybody loved it. Everybody's like, I know what you're doing. I see what you're doing. It's great. I even had legends go, dude, we all did
I
it.
loved it.
You took it and made it into another and took it to another level. You put your spin on it. Even Animal's wife
Yeah.
saw it and she was just like, wow, no negative at all. And I'm like, that's good enough for me. So I have an opportunity at FanFest 4 coming up in May. And
Yeah.
Paul Elring's going to be there. So I'm going to see if I can talk to Precious Paul into managing me for one night. That would be icing on the cake for me.
If you could do that, that'd be a memory, right? That'd be something I would remember forever.
I'm going to try because I
So
talked to one guy that says he's going to try
when
to
this
make it happen.
journey,
What's that?
dude, I was gonna say one of the like when this journey is all said and done, how do you want fans to remember the Silverback?
Oh, just a legendary powerhouse, man. The guy that had it all, the look, the cook, the power. Everywhere I go, everybody's like, you look
Yeah.
more like a wrestler than anybody on the show. And I said, that was exactly my idea going into it. I'm either going all in or I'm not doing it, and my trainer
Yeah.
is like, it was
Real
always
different.
like, if you want to be a star, you have to look like a star. And my first gimmick, the silver, all the silver, I added it up the other night and it was just under $2,000 for that whole gimmick. I spent almost two
Wow.
grand creating that gimmick. Now, how many indie guys do you know spent that kind of money on their crap trying to get somewhere? So I've got that
I can't
gear.
off the top of my head.
I have a backup pair of pants that costed me $550. I have a backup pair of boots. That's another $280 on top of that, plus
Yeah.
the red gimmick now. So I'm looking at just under $4,000 in my whole gimmick right now. Who spent that on it? Name somebody out there that spends that kind of money on it.
Right off the top of my head, I can't. Just right off the top, I can't.
Yeah, and I make good money in merch sales, and that's the key. I try to keep my pay low and try to make up for it in the merch division. So I can get these shows that want to book me out further. Let's go. I'm trying to make it up in merch.
So what kind of merch do you have when you have your merch table set up? What kind of merch do you have? I know you have 8x10s, but do you have like t-shirts?
Dude, you name it. T-shirts, hoodies, 8x10s. I got stuff for the kids, man. I got Garbage Pail Kid cards I had made in my likeness. I've got some 8x10 that looks like the Garbage Pail Kid of the hired gun. I've got I've got spike bracelets, hair things for girls, necklaces, skull stuff. I mean, skull mugs, you name it, man. Dude, I have to fill the whole back of either my truck, my Silverado, or my Terrain completely full, fold the seat down. I have so much stuff that I sell every show. And it's pretty good, man. It's not cheap stuff. It's not bad stuff. It's stuff people like.
I'll definitely have to get me some Silverback merch. I'll definitely have to. I don't know. Do you have like pro wrestling tees or anything set up or?
No, I make all the shirts and hoodies myself out of the house. So if you want something, just hit me up and we'll exchange information and I'll ship it out. It's that easy.
Well, I will say
Yep.
I've
I try to
enjoyed
cut.
having you. Oh, I will say I've enjoyed having you on the episode on the podcast tonight. I've getting to hear some
Yeah,
stories
dude.
and getting to have some
It,
laughs
it,
and
it's great, man. Just ask anything away. I could talk forever.
so. What is the goal for the Silverback for the rest of 2026? Like, what do you want done before the year is over? I know the year just started, but by the year's over, what do you want to have accomplished?
I would like to try and get on the biggest stage that I can. That's my goal every year. But I got like five more Florida bookings and I still got Vegas to go. And I just want to get out there as far as I can. The further east, try to get recognized. At some point, these people got to know I'm here. Like it's just like Herb Simmons says. He goes, "Yeah, a few years ago when Vince McMahon was still on, he goes, yeah, I know that they probably know you're here, and AEW probably know you're here." And he's like, "I don't know why they haven't reached out." He said they seem like a bunch of idiots to me, for not reaching out. And I'm like, here I am, dude. Time's a ticking.
Well,
I'm afraid I'm going to age out before I get as far as I'd like to get. I'd like to get into the NWA. Like I said, I teetered with that a little bit. But if I can't get one of the big shows, it's all right, man. I mean, I guess what you could call an indie darling a little bit, but how long did Matt Cardona not be around the WWE before they finally said, yeah, let's bring this guy back in?
Yeah, he was gone for 6 years.
But the thing is like the way I wrestle slow and like the old style.
6
So
years before.
I mean, so
yeah,
unless there's a new big company that wrestles like the WWF of the 90s, 80s and 90s, late 80s and 90s. I'm sorry, that stuff's boring. The new stuff is boring. I can't watch it, dude. It's not what I grew up on.
I get it.
There's too much going on, no storytelling.
Well, I'll definitely have to keep my eyes out. Well, I'll definitely have to keep my eyes out for the rest of 2026 on the Silverback Joe Helms and see what all happens with you the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, like I'd like to get on JCW also. The Juggalo up there with all them going on. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just a matter of time. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But I'm still going to do what I do.
Yeah. Well, I think you'll be on JCW. I think Vito will reach out to you before the year is over. I think he will.
Well, we'll see. I don't get to wrestle much as the hired gun. Like I'm everywhere as the Silverback. The hired gun he barely gets to come out. And it's sad because golly, there's so much you can do with that guy because he can be heel one week or he could be. Because it just all depends on who pays him the right kind of money. I don't have loyal to anybody but myself and money. So basically 1 week the heel could be paying me to destroy this face. Well, if that face goes and empties his bank account to pay me to get him back, well, guess whose number's up? It's like I always tell him, if you see the hired gun in the locker room, someone's got a debt to pay.
Yeah. So, what would you say to someone that's trying to break into the wrestling scene? Like, what advice would you give them?
Find a credible trainer and train and listen to them until they tell you you're ready. It's not going to be cheap. You're going to be paying some money for a couple of years until you get through the training process. And if you're a tiny guy, don't count on getting very far. That's just it. Because whenever I broke in training, there were guys that had been doing it 8 months before me, and I walk in there and I'm like towering over everybody. I'm this massive football player. And Terry says, "Now look," he's like, "I want you to understand something.
Yeah.
Joe has the airport look. He's built. He's huge. He is going to get bookings over a lot of you guys." And he told me, he said, "Joe, people are going to be jealous of you because you have the it factor. You have everything that these people are trying to develop. You have it all already. We just have to train you."
Yeah.
And you have to go through the training. It's just like back in the day. If you wasn't at least 6 foot and 225, they didn't want nothing to do with you. And I'm sorry, I hate to say it.
That's true.
There's a lot of guys out there that think they're pro wrestlers, and they look like they just got in the ring out of the crowd. Cut that out, dude. Stop that. Those people got to be weeded out. They're what makes independent wrestling look like trash. Go buy some boots. Go buy some legit gear. Make up for you being short by training good and having amazing gear, and that can push you somewhere. But if you're just coming in there with some just crap and you look like you just came out of the stands, what you're lacking in height and mass, you're throwing your money away.
Yeah.
I would rather pay money to look at guys that look like wrestlers or athletes or someone that could actually not depend on their girlfriend to beat up somebody for them, in the ring. I mean, that's the way it is. They want you to look like you can put on a fight if you needed to.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show tonight, and I've enjoyed having you on, and I've got to hear so much. I've got to learn stuff about you and hear some stories about things you've seen and done. So I thank you for taking the time to come on the show tonight.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you have me come on, and I'll tell you the story in training about the one-armed trainee I ended up having to throw across the ring.
I'll definitely have you back on to tell that story. But
oh yeah, it's a good one.
For y'all that have been sticking around the whole episode, if you haven't yet, go give the SilverBack Big Joe Helms a follow. Go give him a follow on Instagram. Go give him a follow on Facebook. Because if you click that, if you scan that QR code in your top left-hand corner, it'll take you right to his Instagram page. Drop him a follow. He's an awesome big dude. He's an awesome big dude, and I enjoyed having him on the episode. So y'all go give him a follow, show him some support, reach out to him, buy some merch from him, because I definitely will be.
Yeah, hit me up, man. I'll send you something out.
Well, for those that have been around and have watched the episode before, you know how the ending's about to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, as always, the Media Maverick Mike Weldon. This has been my host tonight, the SilverBack Big Joe Helms. So, and if you didn't watch this live, make sure you watch it on the video on demand and catch us on the flip side.
All right.